I think in the physical therapy world, especially the way things are trending and the way our healthcare system is specifically for our field, I think cash-based physical therapy is absolutely a great option.
We talked about this in the last episode, the medical system. It's not, because it's not the physical therapist's fault.
Sure.
It's the system's fault, and that's why the insurance-based practices have issues, is because there's so many people and they just can't help everyone.
Right. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, the insurance company gets to decide what they pay for and what they're not going to pay for. And with that, in turn, at the end of the day, whoever is treating you under insurance has to, or most likely will have to, satisfy those insurance companies. And, not always is this the case. And I like to think that it's not always the case, but over time, surely I got to imagine that's got to affect treatment quality, the decisions that the physical therapist is making in certain settings with certain patients. I think if you don't have those influences on the quality of treatment and your decisions, I think you can put a true decision to what is going to be best for that patient without the thought or the repercussions of not getting paid what you think you should be paid.
Yeah, and I also, and it's not good. It's not good for either party, because even the physical therapist, they don't actually, they get, what's the percentage that they get out of a service?
I probably couldn't tell you that number off the top of my head.
It's much lower than what people think.
Sure. Yeah, probably. I would agree.
People assume a doctor of physical therapy, if you're working with an insurance-based practice, people are, oh, you're making all this money because you're, honestly, the insurance companies takes a lot back, and you have time delays to when they get paid out, and all these negative things that happen for both parties, and it ends up being messy, which is where cash-based has become I wouldn't say more popular, but it's grown in the last few years.
Yeah, I think it gives physical therapists an opportunity to show what they're truly capable of as well.
Exactly.
I think with physical therapy, it's just like any other skill or profession out there. There's people who can do really good at their job, and there's people who unfortunately aren't as good at their job. And that's just the reality of the world. So it gives physical therapists out there that are really good at their job and do really want to put all of their effort into their patients the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. So if you're watching and you have something that you would like to have a physical therapist look at, you don't necessarily need to go to a doctor and get a referral and all of those steps. If you have someone that you find that has a cash-based practice, you can actually just go and call them directly, set up an appointment, almost like a personal trainer of how you would set things up. And like to Jake's point, you're going to get their full attention. So they'll have a full consultation with very in-depth, reviewing your movements and everything that's going on. Where in the other instance, you might have to jump through some hoops before you can get to that point.
I want to just piggyback on that too, because my daughter is a D1 gymnast and she's had 3 surgeries on her foot. And with those surgeries, not one person has found the real problem until she went to this PT recently, and he thinks that there's still ongoing problems with a toe, and that's why she's having a pulling in her ankle. So a lot of times doctors, surgeons don't know what a PT is going to find. So again, it's a great place to start.